Welcome to Back Alley Bonsai. My name is Michael. Today is a really breezy evening here in Los Angeles, California. It is Wednesday afternoon. I meant to do this on Sunday when I usually do them, but I was feeling a little bit under the weather. As always, thank you very much for your support. If you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Hit the like button on the video. Tell your friends about it. Let folks know that I've got these going on. What I'm going to be working on today is this Colorado blue spruce. This is actually our Christmas tree for this year. I just bought this spruce and decorated it with candy canes. It was never anything fancy. It's actually put on a ton of growth, though. It's actually really doing well in this springtime. I do apologize if we have too much background noise. I'm doing the best I can. Santa Ana winds, people go crazy. Spinal Tap performs a concert, etc. Like you can see right here, all of this growth is new. It actually only came out to here when I got it. It's put on probably 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches there. This is put on about 3 inches of growth. We're getting some splitting on it, all kinds of really good stuff. But I do want it to be a healthier tree, and there's some growth on it that I don't really need. The nice thing about blue spruces is that their natural shape actually looks an awful lot like a Christmas tree. They form that kind of Christmas tree shape, so I can kind of shape it into that and it will look natural. But I'm not going to do anything too crazy with it. Mostly I'm going to be doing some branch selection on it, and I'm going to do a little bit of wiring maybe, depending on what I've got, and we'll just kind of go forward from there. We will get to it. A couple of things that I do like about this, as always, things that I like about the tree. I do like that it's a nice formal upright Christmas tree. I like that it is very healthy. I like that it's got lots and lots of branch growth. Things that I do not like on it that are worth looking at, and you can see them pretty clearly. You can see this branch here, this branch here. You can see this kind of stepping pattern. This is kind of like a ladder that just climbs up the side of the tree. That's not really great. I would ideally like to have some sort of kind of a back and forth pattern between the branches. So for example, I might keep this one, get rid of this one, keep this one, get rid of this one, etc., etc. A couple of other things that I want to keep an eye out for is, as always, I'm trying to keep the branching to 2 branches coming out of any particular point, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it is aesthetically pleasing. That sort of natural branching. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16 branching type of pattern. But I will bring you in real close on this one, and I will show you right down here. Right in here, we can see we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different branches all coming out of the same spot. And what will happen is this will become a fat spot in the trunk. So the trunk will come up, and then it'll form a big whorl of branches, and it will just get this big lump right there in the middle of the tree. And I want to try to avoid that if I can. So that is one of the things that I'm going to be working to remedy. I want to try and get that down to basically 2 branches, or ideally a branch and just the trunk, and kind of see what we've got. So I'm basically just going to start at the bottom of the tree, work my way up, and then when I'm done, I may do a little bit of wiring. So that is the plan for this tree. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go and remove some of these lower branches. I don't need them quite so far down on the tree. So there's that one, and we will get rid of this one. Can't really see it very well, but it is this one right here. And that one, and we will also get rid of this one. And I think I'm also gonna get rid of this one. And that cleans up our trunk line quite a bit on it. All right, so now for the actual hard decisions. Like I said, I've got lots of step ladders on this. So I've got The next branch that I have is this one right here. The question is, where should the next one be? Well, I can tell that I already don't want to have the next one be directly above it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one off. And so the next thing is, which of these two branches do I keep? I've already got a really strong branch growing out here, so I'm not sure I need this one. But then I've got this one here, which I can probably take off as well. Yeah, so I think if I take off this one, keep this one, take off this one here, and this one here. There we go. So now we've got kind of a front, back, side branch. Well, we do jump a little bit and get back to this bigger branch. I don't want to get rid of this one just yet. I'd like to keep it. It's not in a perfect position, but it's not creating too much of a problem at the moment. But again, we've got 3 branches coming out of the same spot. 2, 3. So I'm going to get rid of this one because we do have... Actually, what I'm going to do is I've got a nice weak branch growing right here. I'm going to go ahead and keep the weak one. Just get rid of the strong one. Now I'm looking at this one here. I'm going to get rid of that one altogether. I want to try and encourage growth lower down the tree. I want to encourage growth all over this tree because I want it to be just generally bigger, but I want these branches to be big and fat as opposed to these big fat ones we have up here. So this big fat one's going to go. It's just way too thick. It's almost as thick as the entire trunk of the tree. And then again, we've got this ladder step going on and another big fat branch. This is the really problem spot with way too many branches. So there's that. That one's gone. And now we can flip it around and we can still see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches all in really close proximity with each other. And I think at this point I'm going to start favoring the weak branches. So we're going to keep this little one here, get rid of all the big ones. There we go. Same problem here. Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches all kind of coming out of the same spot. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the big thick ones. Let the weaker ones sort of take over. In fact, actually, there's a couple of buds on this one. I'm going to cut back to the bud, see if I can get it to grow out a little bit from there. Oops, right. Sorry, I didn't let you guys see the top of that, but I basically just chopped the top of it right off. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of wiring, and I'm just going to kind of wire up everything that's left on the tree. No, a little thicker than that. All right, that'll work. So first things first. So I'm just going to pick a couple of branches and wire them together. So I think I'm just going to wire this branch and this branch here together. Okay. And try as I might, I'm going to get needles in here. There's no way around it. But I can certainly try and avoid getting the buds caught in there. So there's those two branches. And now we'll just work our way up the tree. And I'm going to go ahead and tape all of this. If you guys get bored and decide you don't want to watch me wire up a tree, you can always hit fast forward. That's your prerogative. Basically what I'm looking to do is just kind of get the coils on here at a 45-degree angle, ideally bracing the branch of the tree, not winding the wire around the branch so much as bracing the branch and then twisting the wire. That'll keep the branch stable while you apply your wire. All right. My attack dog. My loyal attack dog is not going to let anybody come in or out of the apartment building. And there's that branch. I'm sure you can already tell that all of this wiring is going much better than my previous video because these branches are all long and straight, which, like I said, makes a lot of this a lot easier. Some of this Some of these needles off of the trunk, don't need them. Interestingly, with pine trees, you do want to kind of keep a little bit of needle growth, or a little bit of a needle drop in and around your soil, because they do like the high acidity environment that the pine needles will provide, and it will help to promote the fungal growth that a pine tree needs to process nutrients. Pine trees are a little bit more primitive than broadleaf trees, and as a result of that, broadleaf trees have developed an adaptation that allows them to more easily take up nutrients, but pine trees don't have that evolutionary adaptation, so they rely on fungal growth in the soil. All trees rely on fungal growth in the soil, but pine trees rely on it a lot more than other types of trees do. So that's kind of an interesting horticultural tidbit for you there. This wire's way too long. So I'm just going to wire these two together. Let's do the strong one first. And we'll do this little bitty one. There we go. Sorry guys, I've got a little bit of a new growing leader, and I want that to go upwards. So I'm gonna just sort of gently wire this whole section. And then just twist that up ever so slightly. Kind of ugly right there, but it'll do the job. Okay, so now I'm going to lower all of this down and give you just kind of a generally better view of what I'm doing. So now what I want to do is try and make this look more like an actual mature tree. And one of the things about cypresses or spruces is that they typically have branches that hang down because of snow cover. So we'll start drooping some of these down, and we'll just start by bending as many of the branches downward as I can. Down, down, down. And now we'll start giving them a little bit of movement. A little bit of back and forth. Oops. nice thing is, because this tree is so young, these branches are so supple, I can do quite a bit with them with no risk of damaging the tree, breaking anything. It's all pretty much safe. And the more dramatic these movements get, the more interesting this tree is going to look in the long run. But, yeah, there we go. Leave a little more down out of that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to wire those top two down. Give myself some really fine wire for these. All right, let's clean up my terrible wire here. And there we go. There is my wired up Colorado blue spruce. Bend that down a bit. And as this grows out, it will wind up looking a little bit better. It's just getting started. Be curious to see what this thing looks like around the holiday season. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for staying with me while I styled up this Colorado blue spruce. Still, so it's got a long way to go. A lot of growing out that it needs to do in order to really get where it needs to be. But for now, it's off to a pretty good start, I think. Again, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this stuff. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when I do my next video. And hit the like button on this particular video if you liked it. Let your friends know. Other than that, have yourselves a wonderful day.